Hi, Product Coalition. My name is Ruben. I'm a business development manager here at Tigerspike, and I just want to say thanks, Jay, for letting us be a part of this community and share our product story today, which we're really excited about. We're based in Singapore, actually in a refurbished shop house. If anyone that's been to Singapore knows about it, it's quite a cool little space to be in. So we develop products for a lot of large companies around the world, but we've actually just developed our own product at Tigerspike, and I'm going to play interviewer today, and we've got our Chief Product Officer, Ken.
Hi there, how are you? So I just shifted into the role of Chief Product Officer for Tigerspike. I started out at Tigerspike about 3 years ago.
Yeah.
4 years ago now, and started out as technical director, shifted into the GM role, and my love of product has brought me back into that product focus. So that's what I'm doing here.
Yeah, so we're excited to actually have our first Chief Product Officer at Tigerspike, and there's a lot of things coming out. But today specifically, Ken, we're going to talk about intelligence, which is one product that we've developed internally. So just for the audience, what is intelligence and what does it do?
Yeah, so the idea behind intelligence, at its very basics, it's meant to make sure people are making the right decisions. So what we want to do is ensure that when people are building a product or going through a process, they're using data to make the right decisions, and they're looking towards what success actually is.
Yeah.
So what we find with intelligence that the best things to do if you're looking to achieve success, define what success is and aim for it.
Yeah.
And that's the idea behind it, the basics.
Cool. So it's sort of solving a particular problem. So what problem with customers are we solving?
So that is the big problem, is that we see a lot of products being built where people haven't thought about why they're building it. So we see things like people saying, well, we want our app to be top in the App Store, and that's not success. What success is creating brand loyalty, making people more productive, increasing employee engagement, making people happier.
Yeah.
Those are the types of things we're trying to focus people on.
Yeah.
But then it's also, how do you measure that? How do you measure people's happiness? How do you measure productivity?
Yeah.
So it's taking those high-level success factors and breaking them down into actual measurable components.
Yeah.
And then making sure when the application is built, or when the product is built, or when the system is built, that we're focusing on that. That's why we're building it. So
Yeah, definitely. And I think we've talked to a few customers about intelligence, and we often get sort of compared, well, they often bring up other products like analytics and all sorts of things like that.
Yeah.
So how do we compare ourselves or move away from being...
For analytics, yeah, you're right. We always get isn't it like Google Analytics? Now, one of the big differences is that our end user is actually the product owner. It's the decision makers. We want the decision makers in looking at the data.
Yeah.
So we take very complex data, we take large data sets, multiple data sets, we aggregate them, and we create a very simplified dashboard that not only has the end user created, and that end user is not a technical individual.
Yeah.
They've created it using the language of their business, which means they understand the data, and they understand the patterns in the data, which also means that they become very close to the product or the system that's being built, which means that very intuitively they can see when the patterns go wrong. So they start to understand and become very close to the dashboard.
It's interesting that we sort of inbuilt the product where you can actually put in your own language to look at success metrics. So a bit of a story around intelligence. Was it you've been here from the beginning with intelligence? How was it an easy roadmap? Was it an easy sort of product development cycle, or was it quite a hard journey?
Yeah, the long answer, the short answer. It has been a journey. There's been Tigerspike has always had IP. Tigerspike has always been building a platform, and usually to help us build something else. So usually to make us more productive. And this is one of the first times that we're starting to turn that around and focus on how we externalize the products we're building. The process to get to intelligence, it went through 3 or 4 different iterations to get to the final idea. There's so many, the previous ideas, there's so many competitors in the market. As we're going through the previous platform, AWS popped up, and that ruined a lot of the ideas that we had and a lot of the things that we were building.
Yeah.
There's validation there,
Yeah.
but once you get that validation from a company the size of AWS with the funding they have and the number of developers they have, it becomes very difficult to compete.
Yeah.
So there has been a number of pivots to get to this point.
Yeah.
But we've definitely hit on something that is growing. We're seeing a lot of data trends coming up. We're seeing a lot of people talking about data. We're also seeing a fear of data that we think we're tackling and solving as well. I think we're on the right track, and looking forward to seeing how it grows out.
Yeah, cool. Okay, interesting. What I think we'll do now is it'd be great to sort of show the product coalition community a little bit about how it works. So we'll do a quick demo.
Sounds good, yeah. Do a quick demo now.
Okay, so first thing we'll do is we'll just browse to the tool itself and I'll just log in. And see, as you're brought in, you come into your dashboard for whatever projects you were interested in and looking at last. Just change this to the last 15 days so we can see a bit of history, a bit of what's going on. So this is the customized dashboard. The intent here is that as a product owner or a key decision maker, I'm looking at data that I've set up specifically to monitor success of the product and monitor the success factors, monitor achievement of success factors, and just basic overall health of the product that I'm running. So in this case, we have intelligence in intelligence. We're looking at the dashboard, which is this tool itself, and some key things that I'm looking at, which are companies and projects being created, or dashboard users being created, so that we know when those things are happening and we know that there's positive numbers occurring. Also some interesting bits and pieces around understanding how people want to use the dashboard. So for example, here we have this time range picker, and what this widget's doing is monitoring when people change that. And we can see actually the most interesting score is in around the last 3 days. So more people are choosing 3 days than other items. I'll just set this time back again, 15 days. Some of the important pieces of this are that I can create a dashboard. So what I can do is I could delete this just to show the setting up of new widgets. So I'll add a new widget. And what I can do, what we're doing again, the focus is on decision makers and people who are close to the business rather than people who are technical. So for those people who are close to the business, we need to make sure that the language is something that is close to the business as well, not a technical language. So you'll see we use this natural language composition to show if users in any group do nothing or choosing from a list. And this list is all the custom events that the product is sending through, and they're all mapped to the business language itself. And what that means is that, again, when a business user is coming in here looking at this, they're reading out and creating sentences based on how they would normally speak. So if they were sitting at a coffee shop talking about their business, they would use the exact same language that is represented here, which reduces the fear in creating dashboards, which reduces the fear in looking at data. It starts to become a lot more natural and closer to how they think. So previously, what I was looking at were people who we'll look at some details around, let's see if there's any creating users. So this is specifically when dashboard users are created, and I can display that as a number. We kind of already have this already, but that's okay. I name my widget with a phrase that I understand, and now that's been created at the bottom. You can see it's a duplicate. But what I can also do then is I can start to slice that a little bit differently. So potentially I could see where users are created. So we can see that there's been some users created in Singapore and in Australia. If I wanted to break that down a bit further, I can do that. And it looks like one user was created without geolocation attached, which is okay. We understand the high level, and then we understand some patterns within there. I could also break that down a little bit further, so I could understand, I'll do projects, but I can break it down into some of the metadata that's also attached. So if I wanted to say, see for example, some of the user agents that have been created, not really all that interesting. See if there's anything a little bit more interesting here. See where people are coming from. So not reported. And accuracy on metadata, so we can see the number of meters of accuracy that the geolocation is reporting on as well. So there's a number of different things that we can look at and drill into. But most importantly, every user gets their own dashboard, so they can create their own dashboard the way they want to see it, which means that if their metrics, if they have important metrics, such as, for example, they're very focused on where people are creating to make sure that there's usage across the globe, they may change their dashboard so that the map is the largest view, and you can move from heat map to point map, and that would be a dashboard then where very quickly I get a view of the important pieces, which is where people are using the dashboard, and some of the smaller pieces of information that I also need are also displayed there as well. And that is the main features. So it's that focus on the decision maker rather than the technical focus. It's making sure that the language is natural so people very quickly understand the data. Again, as a product owner, being very close to the business, I understand what these patterns mean. I understand whether these are positive or negative patterns intuitively. And that means that when the patterns change, I can very quickly understand what the possible reasons for that change are, and explore those reasons and make decisions to bring that back into what could be regular patterns, or to try and strengthen or dampen behaviors as they're occurring.
So thanks for the demo, Ken. That was awesome. Good highlights there. I think the product's looking great at the moment. I've got a question coming from the business development side.
Yeah.
How do we measure success of intelligence?
Right, yes. So, a good question, and it's kind of an inception type thing.
Yeah.
So, intelligence, the idea behind intelligence is to build better products, to make better decisions based on the data that's coming through, making sure you understand the users, creating very, very small feedback loops, so you make a change, you see the output right away.
Yeah.
So what we've started to do now is embed intelligence in intelligence, which starts to give us that data, starts to give us that feedback loop.
Yeah.
So what we've done is take the concept of intelligence, what we're actually trying to achieve, and break that down into 3 or 4 metrics that we're tracking daily. And with those metrics, we know which direction we're going. We know if we're being more or less successful day on day. Yeah. And as we release new features, we look at the impact of those features to what our success factors are, not the impact of the individual features, but overall to what the success factors actually are for us.
Yeah, okay, great. It's really good that we're a customer of our own product, which we'll get a lot of insight out of, I think.
Yes, it's very interesting actually, and it's funny in that when we're creating materials, marketing materials, sales materials, what we create for Tigerspike is the exact same thing we create for external. Yeah. So it gives us a testing market. It gives us the ability to solidify our message internally, safely, before we then take it and externalize as well. So it's really good for us. It really helps us this way.
Yeah, cool. Well, thanks Product Coalition, and thanks Jay for letting us be a part of this. We love the publication, following it very strongly, and we just appreciate and really take this opportunity to share our story. How do we get in contact? How can people get in contact with us, Ken?
Yeah, so you can email me directly at ken.mchugh@tigerspike.com if you have any questions or anything that you want to chat about. Happy to chat all the time.
Yeah.
Or jump on LinkedIn and see what we're up to.
Yeah, cool. Thanks, guys. Thanks.
Thanks very much.
Thanks, bye.